네, 안녕하세요. 이상무입니다.
안녕하세요. 한국일보의 박 박사입니다.
네. 학교 어디요, 여기?
여기 UGA인데요.
네.
네.
뭐의 약자예요, UGA가?
예,
모르시는 분들
UGA는
많으니까.
예, UGA는 University of Georgia.
네.
그래서 UGA라고 부르는데요.
예.
예, 조지아대학교이죠. 예.
그러면은 여기가 어떤 학교예요, 대충? 뭐좀 간략하게
예,
학교를 대신해서 한번 소개를
예.
해주세요.
UGA는요,
네.
미국 전체 공립대학 중에 현재 랭킹 11위에 위치하고 있고요.
안타깝게 10위 안에는 못 들었는데.
몇 달 전에는 9위 했다가 조금 내려왔는데요. 지금 몇 년 사이에 엄청나게 순위가 오르고 있고 발전하고 있는 학교 중에 하나입니다.
네.
네.
그래서,
그리고 여기 도시는요, 에센스라고 하는 도시인데요.
네.
한인 사람들, 우리 한국 사람들은
네.
조지아 블루스 지역에 많이 살고 있죠. 거기서부터 한 1시간 거리에 있는 학교입니다. 예, 오늘 저희가
네.
입학 사정관을 만나서 UGA 입학 전형을 듣기 위해서 왔거든요.
네.
그래서 여기가 지금 페를홀인데
네.
입학처예요. 그래서
네.
오늘은 여기 안에 들어가서
네.
입학 사정관 샤넬 고엔 씨를 만나러 여기 왔습니다.
네. 들어보면 뭐 좀 도움 된 게 많아요?
그럼요. 많겠죠.
네.
네.
알겠습니다. 들어가 봅시다.
네네.
네.
안녕하세요. 오늘은 조지아 대학교의 입학처 어드미션 오피스에 왔습니다. 오늘은 입학처의 디렉터인 샤넬 고엔 씨를 만나서 UGA 대학교의 입학 전형에 대해서 알아보겠습니다. Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Chanel Goen. I am Associate Director of Admissions here at the University of Georgia. I am an alum of the institution as well. I got my master's here in educational psychology and applied cognition and development, and I'm actually a current international student, PhD student as well, in kinesiology here at the university. So I research the way culture influences the motivation for students to be academically successful at U.S. higher education institutions.
Can you tell me your roles and your department?
Yeah. So I am the Associate Director of Admissions. My speciality is recruitment and enrollment of international students, and I also focus a little bit on residency. So my objective is to go out and recruit some of the best and brightest international students across the world, help them through the application and admissions process, and then I'm also involved in the yield process as well as scholarship process for these students. So my role provides me a unique opportunity to have a positive impact on the international student recruitment process, and this is where I can provide some guidance and support to these international students while I'm serving as a mentor while being a PhD student here at the same time.
Please tell me UGA admission requirements like GPA and SAT.
Let me start a little bit with our applicant pool. Okay. So the University of Georgia, last year we had, in our undergraduate admissions office, we had a little over 39,000 applicants, and we admitted a little over 15,000 of those students. We had students from over 3,000 high schools. We had students from 54 different countries, and we had students that applied from all 50 states. Going into the data a little bit more, 37% of our students were in a minority group, and then also 26% of our students had a scholarship when they were admitted in the process. So to give you a little bit more on the data of what it takes to get into this institution, for us, your UGA recalculated GPA. So the institution is going to recalculate your GPA for you. Your mid-range GPA of what our last class came in with is between a 4.0 and a 4.27.
Wow.
And the students that came in as well, if they took some AP, IB, dual enrollment courses, the mid-range for that was between 7 to 12 courses. So SATs and ACTs, just to give you some insight, last year the institution was test optional. This year we are test required, again, per the Board of Regents policies and rules, but SAT scores ranges between a 1350 and a 1480. And then our ACT average or mid-range is between a 31 and a 34.
Wow, that's high.
It is challenging to get in here, but we're getting a lot of students that takes a look at the institution because we've moved up in our rankings. So out-of-state students are looking at us, international students are looking at us, so it makes that pool a lot more competitive.
Okay, is it same scores for international students?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we read our international applicants with our domestic applicants. So we do not separate them.
Okay.
So these scores are indicative of what the whole pool looks like. International students always ask us, why do we require a SAT or ACT? Because, like, for example, I am originally from South Africa, and we don't have a SAT or ACT that you take to apply to universities there. So it's a very unique test that's only offered to students who want to apply to US higher education institutions. So the SAT is challenging, but it's important for international students specifically and domestic students to understand that we're going to look at the students from a whole perspective. We're going to look at what classes you took, what your core curriculum classes were. We're going to look at your extracurricular activities, and that kind of encapsulates that whole student perspective instead of just looking at a 4-hour SAT test and then making a decision on that. So we're going to look at your whole student experience to then make an admission decision on you.
Please tell me your UGA admission and application process.
Yeah.
And deadlines. Yeah.
Deadlines, yeah, it's very important. We have some freshman deadlines that's very important for students to remember. And remember, it's important to go look at every institution that you're applying to see if their deadlines have shifted. For us, there are 3 times during the year where UGA releases admission decisions. So the fall freshman application will be accessible online for students in early August. And then the spring freshman application will be available in late May. So for students, the fall freshman application, like I said, will start early August. Sometimes it can be as early as the 1st of August. And I think this year that's an area that we're actually going to try and do, try and have these students apply as early as 1st of August. But late November to early December is when early action decisions will go out.
Yes.
And then late February is when we will have our regular decision and deferred early action student decisions go out. And then in March is when we let all of our decisions out. So students will know if they've been admitted early March, and then May 1st is our commitment deposit deadline. So it's important for students to go and look and see what type of applicant you want to be, because usually students will ask us and say, well, should I be an early action applicant or a regular decision applicant? And for us, it's important for the student to understand it's about timing. If you apply as an early action applicant, you're going to get a decision in October or November if you apply as early as August, right? And regular decision, if you feel like you just need more time to get all of your things submitted to us, then apply as a regular decision student. There is no difference in early action getting a better view or a better admissions overview versus regular decision. It's all about what the student's needs are and the timing, what that looks like for the student.
And can you tell me about tuitions and financial aid program you have?
We have lots of scholarships available for first-year students. What's nice about our application process is that students can apply with their online application to UGA is going to consider them automatically for scholarships. All right, so you don't necessarily have to go and apply with a separate application to qualify for a separate scholarship. It is important for students to go look at our website for scholarships. One of our biggest scholarships is the Foundation Fellowship Scholarship. Sometimes with that, you will have to submit a separate application. But in general, first-year students do not require a separate application with their admissions process. So if students are coming from local high schools, and let's say they want to look at Foundation Fellowship or even financial aid in general, so the HOPE and Zell Miller scholarships, it's important for students to connect with our Office of Student Financial Aid to be able to see what the requirements are for HOPE and Zell. But yeah, all of our students are considered for scholarships in their application process.
A lot of families suffering economically in pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you have any special financial aid program for them?
Yeah, we have expanded our list of scholarships that's available for students, and this is for both domestic and international students. So your best bet is just to go look at our online scholarship website and kind of see which ones would be something that you would be a good fit for. Do your research, kind of figure out what these scholarships are about to align your efforts toward getting that scholarship a little bit better. But like I said, we have hundreds of scholarships available for students. So it's ultimately the student's responsibility to go search for those scholarships on our website.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And what do you think are the most important things to get accepted?
Yeah.
And just what is your special tips?
Yeah. So that's a great question, right? So we deal with lots of students that apply every year, and every year we get that question, right? When dealing with colleges and doing that college search process as a domestic student or even an international student, it is important for you to do your research and find out what the focus is of the institution and what their requirements are, and try and understand how you can align your extracurricular activities, the class choices you make, to best fit the institution that you were searching for or applying to. So overall, you have to look at the admissions situation as well. So a good example of this is last year we had 11,000 additional applications from what we had the year before. So it's important to understand that different admissions offices will have different priorities, and that additional 11,000 students is going to impact admissions decisions, right? But my best word of advice is for students to be authentic in your application process. There's a lot of students that will apply and say, well, I want to be like, a celebrity or a big businessman or woman. And we usually tell the students, we've seen, all these celebrities and businessmen and businesswomen. Be yourself. I want to see you. And that's what's so wonderful about my position in the admissions office is I get to read and make decisions on these international student stories. And I like the aspect of the different cultural pieces that comes out of it. So be true to yourself, be authentic, and let that shine in your application process, because that is truly what makes you you and makes you unique in comparison with some of the other students that might apply.
Okay, authentic and your special, unique application.
Yeah, especially a
essay.
lot of times students will kind of feel like their international background might not be as fitting as they would want it to be to apply to an institution like ours. But for me, specifically your international student background, or even if you're a US citizen here, it's important to bring out the best colors that you have, whether it's cultural, academic, or extracurricular activities that you do. Share those stories with us and share it in an authentic voice. Don't feel like you have to tell us how good our business school is. We know our business school is pretty good. Tell us how good you do in your class and what you have impacted in your community, because that's very authentic and we love those stories.
Okay. Yeah, we almost done.
Yeah, well, great.
Do you have any last word to Asian students?
I think it's important for students, especially international students right now, to understand that our VP, Vice President Kamala Harris, her parents were immigrants as well. So it's important to realize that the US political shift is going to focus on international students a little bit more. And I think that's something to be excited about and something to look forward to, because international students play a very important role on this campus and all the campuses here in the US. I was an international student. I came over from South Africa. I've been here now for 19 years, and I still love it. It's definitely a part of my life that I feel like the US has had a permanent impact on my life, where I've loved it here and I've stayed here. But it's important for all international students to feel like they're welcome here. And I think international students will experience that, especially moving forward with where higher education is going with recruiting international students.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
interviewing.
guys. Yeah, I
Okay,
appreciate it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
어떻게 들으셨어요? UGA 입학사정관한테 설명을 들으니까 많이 도움이 되는 것 같습니다. 샤넬 고엔 디렉터는 이번에 8월 7일에 한국일보 칼리지엑스포에 스피커로 오십니다. 더 궁금한 점이 있으신 분들은 칼리지엑스포에 직접 오셔서 구체적으로 질문하시고 좋은 답변 얻어가셨으면 좋겠습니다. 지금까지 박 박사의 인터뷰였습니다. 감사합니다.